In the heart of Calabar, where the streets are busy with vehicles, marketers, river mamas' secrets to the trees and the air smells of heat and rain, stood a small tailor shop called Silver Stitches. It wasn't flashy. It didn't scream for attention. But inside its soft yellow walls, a young woman named Peace stitched dreams into fabric. At just 22, Peace had hands that danced. She could thread a needle blindfolded. Her stitches were precise, her patterns graceful. She didn't just sew, she breathed life into cloth. But in a city full of tailors and trendsetters, talent wasn't enough. Other shops boomed with digital ads, slashed prices, and models draped in synthetic glamour. Peace, in her quiet corner, watched and waited. She wanted more. Not riches, not fame, though those would be nice, but something deeper. She wanted to be seen. To be remembered. One evening, as the sun melted over the rooftops, an old customer leaned across the counter and whispered, "They say, beyond Ikat Abesa in the mangroves, there's a spirit. A mermaid named Cynthia. If you ask with a clean heart, she'll give you a gift, a golden needle. One that sews garments fit for kings, that never tear, that shimmer like moonlight." Peace smiled politely, but the seed had been planted. That night, she didn't sleep. Her mind spun with gowns that moved like rivers, with celebrities begging for her designs. A needle like that, she thought, could change everything. At dawn, Peace packed a bag, water, bread, a scarf that once belonged to her mother, and walked. She told no one. Some journeys are too sacred to share. The path through the mangroves was narrow and lonely. Branches arched overhead like bowed elders, and the air hung thick with silence. At the water's edge, Peace dropped to her knees. "I've come," she whispered. "Please, I ask for the needle." The wind hushed. The river stilled. And then she rose, Cynthia. A mermaid of the deep. Her silver hair drifted like moonlight. Her eyes held oceans. In her hand, she held a needle that shimmered like sunlight on still water. "You seek beauty," Cynthia said softly. "But beauty has rules." Peace nodded, her heart racing. "I'll return it. I swear." 7 days, Cynthia warned. "On the 7th night, return it to this river. If you do not, the water will remember." Peace took the needle. It tingled, alive and ancient. She turned and ran, joy blooming in her chest. Back in Calabar, the magic began. The first gown flowed like mist. The second sparkled like stars. The needle didn't just sew, it whispered. Fabric obeyed it. The thread glowed faintly. Word spread. Silver Stitches was no longer a quiet shop, it became legend. By the 3rd day, customers lined up around the block. Influencers called her the River Tailor. Politicians demanded suits. Actresses booked 6 months in advance. Peace smiled as the cash flowed in. "Just a few more orders," she said. "Just a few more days." But magic always has a cost. By the 4th day, Peace's hands tingled. A strange shimmer appeared on her fingertips. She wore gloves to hide the webbing that crept between her fingers. By the 5th, her reflection blinked slower. Her eyes glowed faintly. She ignored it. Ella, her apprentice, noticed. "Auntie Peace, you don't look well." Peace flinched. "I'm fine. Just tired. Go home." "But..." "I said go." Her voice cracked like a whip. Ella left, hurt and worried. Peace turned back to her sewing. The needle now floated without touch, stitching scales, spirals, and waves. The dresses shimmered with sea creatures she had not imagined. By the 6th day, her skin began to itch. The gloves grew tight. She avoided mirrors. And on the 7th night, she stood alone in her shop. The moon hung low. The calendar on the wall glowed with the number 7 circled in red. The needle floated, glowing softly. Just one more day, she whispered. One more gown. That night, Peace dreamed of waves crashing through her shop. Of silver eyes watching her from the deep. She woke gasping. Peace lay in bed, her sheets wet, her lungs heavy. The sound of waves echoed in her skull. Her hands were no longer hers. Her tongue felt foreign. Her voice, gone. She stood before her mirror and saw it clearly now. Thin ears. Scaled neck. Eyes like tidewater. She wanted to scream. But silence was all she had left. The needle no longer danced. It dragged. Her fingers burned. Her reflection shimmered wrong. By the 9th day, she saw faint ridges on her jaw, her ears thinning into fin-like curves. The magic stitched without her now. Fish scales, coral, ocean spirals, patterns she hadn't chosen. Ella noticed. Peace. What's happening to you? Just leave. Peace snapped. That night, she dug up the needle. It glowed blue, cold and beautiful. As she touched it, a voice echoed in her skull, "Return me." But she didn't. She couldn't. She had already gone too far. Outside, rain began to fall. Mermaid's voice returned in the wind, "You broke your word." Peace opened the door, soaked and trembling. "Please," she whispered. "Just a little longer." "You had your time," Cynthia said gently. "The needle is not yours." "It never was." "I needed it," Peace whispered. "Without it, I was nothing." "No," Cynthia said. "You were afraid to be ordinary." On the 11th day, Peace could no longer speak. Her voice was gone, her lungs aching for water. The gowns no longer shimmered. Her shop was quiet. Even Ella had stopped knocking. And on the 12th night, Peace crawled to the river. Her legs dragged behind her, no longer human. From her abdomen down, she was scaled and sleek, her body reshaped by the very magic she refused to surrender. Her webbed fingers clutched the needle like a relic of the girl she used to be. Cynthia rose from the water again. Not angry. Not cruel. Just sad. Peace held out the needle, tears streaking her cheeks. "I'm sorry," she mouthed. "You waited too long," Cynthia replied. "Now it lives in you." Cynthia touched her on the forehead, water rose and swallowed her. Peace gasped as her body convulsed, and then, silence. She sank. But she did not drown. The water welcomed her like an old song. Her lungs filled, not with air, but with peace. Her tail flicked beneath her, graceful and free. The shimmer of her skin matched the river's rhythm. Her voice, gone. Her shop, gone. Her name, fading. But her hands still knew how to sew. And in the quiet beneath the surface, she began again. She stitched with coral and shells, wove with currents and reeds. She created not for customers, not for money, just for beauty. Because even in the deep, creation still mattered. And above, in the world she left behind, Ella opened a small shop in Peace's honor. She named it Silver Stitches and stitched each dress with love, not magic. Sometimes, when the wind whispered through the mangroves, Ella sat by the river and said, "I remember you." And the water shimmered. Just once. Because Peace was not gone. Just changed. She would never speak again. But she would always create. Because even at the bottom of the river, a broken promise could still teach a quiet kind of truth. Years passed. Cynthia remained deep in the river, holding the golden needle like a sacred vow. Many came seeking it. Some offered gold. Some offered tears. But she remembered Peace, the tailor with fire in her hands and fear in her heart. The one who had promise. But broke a promise. And still, Cynthia wept sometimes. Not in anger, but in sorrow. Because a gift, once misused, becomes a curse. And still she waited. For someone who would treat the needle not as a shortcut, but a responsibility. Your support means a lot to us. Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe for more interesting and real stories in our channel.